All right, what's up, guys? This is Smooth on here, and today I'm gonna be talking about a new anime in this summer 2023 season that's currently airing, called Zom 100: Bucket List of the Dead. So, Zom 100 is a very interesting sort of series that is like catering to a very kind of like niche genre, at least in the anime community. Like with the zombies, I don't think there's very too many. I don't believe there's like too many notable anime out there who has like that has like zombies in it as like the main like threat, and like like a post or like like a virus kind of world with zombies, and like having to navigate the world with an apocalypse, and a zombie apocalypse. So so I'm kind of just here to just talk about my thoughts on the series so far. Currently there's 7 episodes out right now, and yeah, I just want to talk about it real quick. So when this series was first announced, I honestly was not that interested in it, because honestly, I haven't really watched that many like zombie related like media, if I'm being honest. Like I've seen like I'm a Legend. I've watched Zombieland 1 and 2. I haven't seen The Walking Dead yet. I did watch a little bit of that one like Netflix show that had the zombies in it. I can't really think of the name of it right now, but I watched like a few episodes of that. And that's basically it. All the notable stuff I've watched. So so yeah, I'm not like the biggest fan, but I can enjoy like a good like zombie piece of media every now and then. But but the thing about this is that when this was announced, it looked like so wacky to me, in my opinion, and I wasn't really like the art style wasn't really rocking with it that much. But nevertheless, I decided to just try it out. Just try it out, see if I would actually enjoy it or not. And let me tell you, these first 2 episodes were so boring, in my opinion. Like, I cannot tell you like how like bored I was of these first 2 episodes and how badly I wanted them to end. Thankfully for that, we have like the 3 episode rule, and I actually ended up watching the third episode, and that basically like turned it around for me, kind of. But I mean, no, episode 4 is where it like, yeah, okay, this is a good enough show for me to stick with it. That episode 4 is the episode where you have like well, okay, well, hold on. First, I should probably talk about like what like what's going on in the show. All right, my bad. So basically, we have our main character here, Tendo. Okay, so Tendo lives in Tokyo, and basically he worked at a very exploitive job, basically. So he worked at a job that like overworked him to near death. He had no time whatsoever to do anything for himself, and yeah, he basically was working like a zombie. And I've been told it's like reflective of like the work culture in Japan, because yeah, I've like heard from certain people that it can be like that, it's kind of like that in Japan, where like they are very like hardworking like all the time. So it's catering. The show is also kind of catering to like that aspect, and even still honestly wasn't really. Again, these first 2 episodes didn't really hook me, because I just honestly found. I mean, first episode is depressing. So there's that, and then the second episode was not entertaining really at all either. Like there was kind of nothing. Like as episode 2 is where he meets the main girl of the series right here, Shizuka, and yeah, that was not really an interesting episode for me. But then, as I was saying before, we get to episode 3, and that's where he meets up with his old best friend from college, Kensho. Okay, this guy right here. This guy is Kensho. And so from then on, that's when the show got better for me. And especially episode 4, I think. Would I say it's my favorite? Yeah, honestly, yeah, I would probably say episode 4 is probably my favorite episode of the series so far because it's an episode where he scratches off something off of his bucket list. So yeah, if let me go back a little bit. So like as the title suggests, it's a Zom 100 bucket list of the dead. So the main guy Tendo has this notebook, and it's titled "100 Things I Want to Do Before Becoming a Zombie." And so right now he doesn't have 100. He actually doesn't have 100 things written down. Like I think by like the second episode, he only has like he only wrote down like 30 different things. So it's not just all of things he wants to do. So when finally meets back up with Kensho, that's when Kensho starts writing his own stuff in the notebook. So yeah, the direction it's going is going to be a combined thing of like everything like our main characters want to do before any of them become a zombie, you know? So it's not just Tendo's like goals necessarily, which is a very cool aspect because I think yeah, because it would have been. I think I can actually I just appreciate that. I don't know how to. I'm trying to convey it rightly, but I just think that's better. I find that more interesting than if it was just 100 things only Tendo wanted to do. Like at getting all other people in, getting like everyone's goals combined into 100 things. I think that's a lot more interesting, you know. And so, what I was saying before, episode 4 is like my favorite episode because one of the goals on Tendo's list is to, I believe it's drink with flight attendants or go on a date with a flight attendant, and so they basically get trapped in this uh, supermarket with flight attendants. and and so yeah, that's literally right there. That's something scratching off the list. They all sit down in an aisle and drink together and talk stuff out, and also and Tendo ends up meeting like this one girl who is a flight attendant, and they end up forming like a sort of bond because this good dude like immediately asks her if she has a boyfriend, and then she's like, bro, what the heck, why are you asking me that in this situation when we're like trapped in a supermarket and zombies are after us, like what? And so yeah, so that didn't go well for him, but she actually turns out to be like a super sweet lady because he ends up like chugging a bottle of beer and getting sick. So she ends up coming to like comfort him, and yeah, so she was just a very sweet lady, but unfortunately she had a boyfriend also. But even more unfortunately, honestly, should I really spoil like what else happens? No, I'll just leave it at that. I think I've probably said too much about that. You should watch the episode and see for yourself what happens in that episode, because this is like definitely my favorite episode so far. And okay, so now we are on. So this is a let me scroll down. Yeah, so this is a 12 episode series. This is going to be a 12 episode series. And so we have already gotten 7 episodes so far. So there's been like a couple of delays. So I think this show overall is probably like a little bit behind because like there's like been like 2 or so delays for it. But it's finally come back these past 2 weeks, and now we have 7 episodes out. So let me go over so I can talk about the recent episodes. Okay, so here we are on episode 7 right here. And to kind of get you up to date with these last two recent couple of episodes, so basically, Shizuka, the main girl here, I cannot find any good whatever. So basically, Shizuku ends up joining the gang, and they end up like in the last episode, they ended up getting like an RV because Tendo and Kensho have basically done everything they needed to do inside of Tokyo. Like we've there's nothing more left for us in Tokyo, so let's get out of here. And they're gonna go see Tendo's parents in the country. But then our main girl Shizuka here, if I could just find a good dang good book. What the actual heck? Yeah, jeez. Okay, Shizuka right here. She ends up having the same idea where she's like, an RV is like the safest thing to travel because like all the movies and stuff. So they end up going to an RV place at the same time, and then now they're basically her, Tendo, and Kensho are all traveling together. And so when they were traveling together, they ran into spikes, and the spikes were laid out by Tendo's old chief at his company. Let me see. This guy this guy is what we call one of the ugly bastards in the anime community. So, yeah, that's why this dude looks like that and his mouth's like that. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So he's running like this area with his baseball team, and basically what he does is he lays spikes out and traps people in their vehicles, and and he basically forces them all to work for him basically in this like small little area. And so he ends up stumbling upon Tendo and his friends, and then he's like, "Okay, Tendo, come work for me for 2 days to like pay uh me back, or like so like we can fix you up, fix up your car, fix his friend Kensho, because Kensho was like riding on the motorcycle they have, and like so he got injured, so they patched him up, and like Tendo has to work for 2 days." So Shizuku like sees all this, and it reminds her heavily of basically her life. So in this episode, we basically get like Shizuka's a good amount of backstory for her. Basically, like her father basically was the same way as the chief was to Tendo. Like they're both basically like these dictators who just tell people under them to tell everything, who get people to do everything they want for them. And like Shizuka's father is like, you don't need other people. You are above everyone else. Stop hanging around. Don't be around lesser people. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do such and such. And Shizuku is, yeah. And we get to get that backstory for Shizuka. And so basically, she ends up being the one to break Tendo out of like this cycle, because he ends up going back to how he was at the company, like just being a mindless like zombie, a puppet for Chief. But Shizuka, now seeing the same thing, is the one that like breaks him out of this, cycle. And so she breaks Tendo free, and she breaks Tendo free, and unfortunately, a zombie got into one of the trucks that was like being hauled into this area, and so Tendo has to end up saving all the people in this area from zombies, basically, that have came in. And so he ends up saving the day yet again. And the chief, yeah, his like rule over these people is basically ended. Yeah, they're like, nah, bro, we not following you anymore. And so that's all over, and Tendo and Shizuku have this talk at the end here about, hey man, there's probably a job out there for you somewhere, hopefully, because like new jobs pop up every day. We couldn't imagine the jobs we have now 100 years ago, and so yeah, that is basically the end of the episode. So, so my thoughts. So to final thoughts on the series so far. I would say yes, it's definitely gotten so much better than those first two episodes. I cannot tell you enough how much I did not like those first two episodes. But like I said, these past two episodes, pretty good. I would say pretty solid. Two solid episodes we have here, and yeah, making me want to stick with it. And then I would say like my main issue with the series right now, honestly, is the fact that, and this is gonna be such a like nitpick for me pretty much, but I honestly just don't like how like Tendo and Kencho's kind of like personality, if I'm being honest. I mean, like, I know like in times of like desperation like this, it shows often have that one character who's just like a goofball and like kind of like a comedic relief in some sorts. But I honestly don't know if I like that for like a zombie sort of piece of media. It could just be me in regards with this show, but like Tendo and Kensho are so like over the top and excited about so many things in the middle of like a zombie apocalypse, and it's kind of like such a stark contrast. It's kind of like whiplash a little bit for me, that I yeah, and makes it kind of less enjoyable a little bit for me. But that's just me, my little small nitpick for the series. But besides that, I would say this is definitely a good series that is worth watching. Besides the first two episodes. Okay. All right, yeah. And that's okay, that's pretty much it. So, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.